Hey there, welcome back to Project Syntar. In today's episode, we will cover the open oceans and how life adapts to fulfill the many niches that are currently vacant. The open oceans currently lack any multicellular phototrophs, meaning most energy comes from plankton, other animals or marine snow that sinks to the seabed of the open ocean. The plankton would cover parts of the surface with big orange blooms. First, we must discuss the open ocean's current ecosystem. It currently has 3 major multicellular organisms and a lot of plankton. There are the large whale-like filter-feeding Antigryphalonas, the small schooling fish like Simonosarian, and the generalist predator called Ceranopleus. Now let's get to the nucleids. A creature may evolve to fill the role of a mid-sized filter feeder that isn't as large as the Antigryphalonas, but not as small as the Simonosarian. Meet the tunomorph. It travels in groups, but not in groups as big as its ancestor, the Simonosarian. These groups are closer to around 50. They are pretty basic animals, but have further enhanced the chemoreceptors on its mouth parts to better, quote-unquote, smell. Plankton. You heard me right, I said enhanced and not gained. Its ancestors, the Simonosarian, and also his other descendants have other senses as well. To find plankton easier, the Simonosarian may have evolved basic chemoreceptive cells around the tips of their mouth parts. Moving on, here is another filter feeder. This is the gelatomorph. It has convergently evolved a body plan very similar to the jellyfish of Earth. They have evolved from the corticanoe. To be specific, corticanoe is planktonous. They have long tendrils to catch passing plankton. Their only defense mechanisms are their insanely fast reproduction rate as they spew out gametes whenever they can. And the other defense mechanism is that they have an irritating bitter taste. Most predators won't attack them anyway since they provide little nutrition. Meet the tiny Pleucopiscis. This funky-looking fella has evolved to pluck the barnataches of the Antigryphalona's skin. They both benefit from the exchange, with the Pleucopiscis getting food and the Antigryphalonas getting rid of a parasite. For this reason, the Antigryphalonas doesn't see them as a threat, and you often see groups of 3 to 5 around every Antigryphalonas. They are descended from the Pleucarcemian and have reporposed their top to mandibles for pushing food into its mouth, and its bottom to mandibles for wedging off the barnataches from the host's skin. Both males and females possess this coloration, but the males have it way more pronounced, with bright yellow and orange fins and mandibles, as well as a dazzling rainbow tail. They use these to impress a potential partner and scare of a potential rival when it is their mating season. Another creature is the Cyclopiscis. They rest in the shallows but live predominantly in the open ocean. They are descended from the Chlamyscrap and have repurposed their primitive arms into a sort of sideways jaw. The spines have flattened and strengthened to be more like grinning teeth. They use them to crush and grind bones and carcasses, living in such an open habitat that have learned to swim. They swim in a subcaringiform method. To do so, it has gained a segmented shell. With so much prey, a few predators are bound to show up. One such predator is the Estercolophos, name translating to internalized shell. It is a descendant of the Chlamyscrap that has learned to swim to avoid predators and reach food easier. It slowly adapted for a predatory niche similar to dolphins, hunting in packs/pods of up to 7 to take down large prey. Their shell has been internalized and acts similar to the gladius of earth squids. The spines on its tentacles have become thicker and sharper to cause more damage to its prey and predators. They have converged on a similar look to earth cephalopods. Another predator is the Gladiocitor. It has evolved from the Ceranopleus and has turned its top mandibles into a long sword-like structure to slash at schools of Simonosarian. This creature has very complex praying mantis-like mandibles that it uses to grab its sliced prey and insert it into its mouth. They have bright coloration on their tail to see members of its species from a large distance. They do this in hopes of finding a large school of fish, since they hunt exclusively those. These schools can range into the hundreds of thousands. Due to all these predators, some Simonosarian have evolved a strange defense mechanism. This was thought to be very rare on Earth, but once we researched more, we discovered that it has evolved multiple times independently on Earth, meaning it's not too far of a stretch to think it could evolve on Aurelios. I'm talking about flying fish, or more accurately gliding fish. When feeling threatened, they swim up to the surface and start skimming the surface with their long tail. They then begin to glide long distances to escape predators. They have bright colors to impress mates. They are called the Larbenthapsis, meaning glide fish. Meet the Lygopiltro, name meaning tiny filter. Because of all the predators in their habitat, they have become smaller, a lot smaller. So small in fact that they can only reach 1 inch at largest. They act similar to krill, meaning they swarm in huge numbers. Their size has helped them evade their old predators, but it has brought them a new threat. They are so small that the Antigryphalonas now eats them. All this new food for the Antigryphalonas has made a large population boom. Some Ceranopleas have adapted to feed on the abundant prey, rising to the top of the food chain and becoming the open ocean's top predator. It is called the Echinotherium, weighing in at a whopping 4,200 pounds. This beast is around the size of a great white shark and has the bite force of an orca. Its forepart jaw evolved from the Ceranopleas, and is lined with rows of sharp teeth which are more closer built for eating its victims alive, rather than killing then eating. Its mandibles, jaw completely cover its first and second segment. The only part that remains of the second segment are its eyes, and the only part that remains of the front segment is the mouth. That is only seen when the jaw is gaping open. They travel alone, but sometimes in small groups. Their favorite meal are tunomorphs and Antigryphalonas. Much like sharks on Earth, they have evolved a lateral line system, but instead of being a line, it may develop a small circle around the base of all 20 of their fins. This would make it similar to the lateral ring system of Nusku from Project Rose. Every creature shown today serves as a brief overview of the open oceans of Aurelios. There would be many species in each clade. Thank you so much to all the people that gave me fan art for this video. It helps out a ton and makes the vids look a lot better. If you want to see some spoilers for the next episode, give fan art, chat, or much more, you can join the Discord server in the description. Speaking of next episode, we will cover the immense diversity of the 2 reefs. They are analogous to Earth coral reefs, so will hold a huge variety of organisms. I hope to see you there. Goodbye for now.